And there we are, live on Facebook. Hello, welcome to tonight's interview. Sigrid Cast here, Sticky Peak Marketing is my business. I am a book writing and marketing consultant, and I help you get your book ready out there in 6 weeks or less. And I have with me tonight the wonderful Trish Rock. Welcome, Trish.
Oh, thank you. So lovely to be here, Sigrid, in your community. And hello, everyone.
Really great to have you. Now, Trish is a very special person. She's a psychic, spiritual guide, and a transformation mentor. That is just wonderful, something a bit different to what I have had so far in interviews. And I think it's a really great opportunity because Trish helps with her psychic, spiritual guidance and mentoring people to come into new perspectives, to see new perspectives, to get clarity in their lives. You've done this for over 30 years, Trish?
Yes.
Wow, look at that. Now, what I find so exciting and interesting is that you have reinvented your own life several times, and I want to hear a bit about that, but I think it's also really important. The times that we are in are so changeable, changing. So I think it is the time to talk to someone like you, because if we are feeling unsettled and we are not ready to move, or we think we are not, I'm sure you have some guiding words on that for us.
Absolutely. And I can tell you now that it's all a story.
Tell us a bit about what's the story, or what's the story.
And we are all living in a story, and we all have a perspective which holds us stuck or gives us freedom. And I know, most of my life I've been in various stories of that have kept me stuck, in victim, in financial trouble, in relationship trouble, all sorts of things. And it's been a journey for me to change all of those. But something that comes very naturally to me is to find a new story, find a new perspective on the story that people are coming to me about. And just the change of one perspective can change somebody's whole life, because if you have a belief about something because of a perspective that you took on at a certain age, that is going to come into everything you do. And if it's a good one, great. If it's not, then you're going to be constantly asking, why is life not how I want it to be? Why can't I create the life I want? Why is my relationship not working? Why am I not getting money in? Why am I not healthy? And changing those stories, absolutely, I see people change their lives constantly. It's such a joy. And it really is, your point of view is either holding you stuck or giving you freedom.
Yes, and I think the point in there too, from my perspective, would be you don't even know that, do you? You've just this feeling something's not working, and you just don't know why.
Absolutely. Yeah, most people don't know. They come to me with a problem, but then I see behind the problem and get to the actual issue of, well, if you didn't have this perspective on that, then you wouldn't be experiencing this problem. And of course, you've been around a lot of people writing their stories and everything else, and you understand that whatever it is that our greatest lesson in life is, we normally teach it. And so changing my perspective has been the biggest journey for me in this lifetime as well. It's getting a little bit easier, but there's always something to shift. And that's what I love helping people do. And mostly we don't even know it until we decide there's something in our life that doesn't feel in alignment, and we question it.
Something's missing. So right now, with all of those changes that we've had, with this whole new story that is really the world over, that has emerged there, what is that? Are we supposed to be seeing things in a new light and from new perspectives, gaining new perspectives? What's your take on that, Trish?
Absolutely. I think as a collective, we've been asking for generations for change. So I won't get too woo-woo, but the world came to a place last year and even this year where we were kind of forced into a corner, so many of us. And there was the decisions to be made. Do we keep living a life like a robot, or do we start to actually ask ourselves, what brings me joy? What do I want to do in life? What brings me happiness? Because so many people were just robotic. Get up, go to work, come home, watch telly, go to bed, and there's this robotic, but in their hearts they're saying, I wish things were different, but couldn't change that story to make the difference. Some of them got forced into, oh, now I'm at home. You know what? I don't want to go back to that job. I hate it.
Are so correct in that, after speaking to some other people that are saying so many more people have left their jobs on purpose to do their own thing now that they feel that freedom to be able to do that because everybody's doing it.
Absolutely. And I mean, even just the Zoom platform. I mean, I've been using Zoom or platforms like this for many years on a global basis, but last year has brought so many more people on here, and people aren't scared of it anymore, which means practitioners and coaches and consultants, we can, the globe, the whole world is available there for us through this medium. And that's just one of the things people have changed their minds on. But yeah, definitely a lot of people have changed their minds on how they want to live.
So when people come to you and that they need a new perspective because they come and they say, I'm stuck, or whatever it is they usually say, tell us a little bit about how you go about that. I'm sure people are interested. Sometimes the intuitive guide or psychic, it does sound a little bit off the beaten track, so to speak.
It does, a little bit out there. I guess it's one of my skills. I can really I can read behind the words, I guess. So someone will come to me and say, this is the problem. Let me give you an example. So I had a client who came to me with, she'd been recently separated and trying to get a life together, but everything was being sabotaged. Even her identity online was being sabotaged. And so she came to me to fix up that techie stuff too, because I do a little bit of that. But when we got down to it, it really was a perception she had from a very young age that she didn't deserve to be seen. And that perception then created all sorts of stuff in her life where she wasn't seen.
Like a chain reaction almost, I'm hearing. Yeah.
It's a chain reaction. And I guess in a way it's a life proving to you what your belief is. If you believe you're not good enough, life will prove that to you. But most people who come to me will say, life is not good for me, but it's actually the other way around. You're not being nice to yourself and it's reflected on the outside. So I try to get down to the thing. Now, just changing that one perception about what happened when she was 2.
Yeah.
Shifting that in her mind shifted everything. And it was just, sometimes I look at it and I think, wow, all of those years of that, and I've just shifted one little idea of the story and things shift. Now, it doesn't mean people are immediately, like every problem in their life is solved, but it gives them a new starting point.
Yeah. It's a reset kind of a moment, isn't it? Reset. And I think when you're working with clients, the program that you use, I think it is called Reset, isn't it? Like your reality reset. Is that right?
Absolutely. That's my 5-step program that I take people through, and it is a reality reset. And the other thing for everybody listening, what I tried to do back 10 years ago was I kind of said to myself, my life's crap, and it's all crap. So I pretty much changed everything. But the actual truth of the matter was, it wasn't all bad. It's just that we get 2 or 3 things that are uncomfortable and we throw it all into the same basket, and then we say, I need to solve it all. But it's impossible, and it's just self-sabotaging to do that. So what I like to do is take people through, and I just say, well, what's the biggest thing that you'd like to shift right now? Is it your confidence? Is it your feeling of insignificance? Is it your feeling of value? Is it, do you want to be expressing more? And we reset that. And that also has a knock on to other areas.
It just makes so much sense. And I'm just going to throw in here, I look at that similarly with writing a book. There's a lot of people that have got so much going on and they have a great idea or several ideas about writing, and they kind of put it all out there onto the page, but it's everything. Like you're saying, they're not looking at just one particular thing, one particular direction. They bring it all down, and then in the end, after the long journey to get the book actually out there and published, they find that it doesn't have the effect that they hoped for, because they didn't start with that one thing, which is what you're doing. I think that's hugely important, to have that one focus.
It's very important to have that clarity. And for people who have a lot of stuff they want to talk about, and I'm sure you help them with this, is to put them into different books or, at least put them into different chapters and just get clear on that. But yeah, when you try to eat the whole elephant at once, you just can't do it.
You can't, no. So the program, you said it's a 5-step. Is there a time with that, a time frame as well? Or does it depend on the individual, Trish?
It depends on the individual and how they want to work with me. So, I've got quite a few going through the program at the moment on a kind of a 6 to 8 week time frame. And we kind of find that, if I have a one-on-one with them, they kind of need the fortnight to integrate all of that and to have to make those changes. But I do have longer ones, and I'm actually starting a 12-week group program on the 22nd of March.
Yes. Yeah. So you've got a link for that we can pop into the comments later on?
I will get that to you. And that's an exciting way of doing it then, because, it's more of it's a group experience rather than a one-on-one. And I think the people that I attract in my communities are so supportive, and I think it's lovely to have all the different ideas coming in as well.
I think that is brilliant. A group gives you that exchange of ideas, different directions people are coming from and sending you to in their responses to it. But also in a group, I think we are in life in a group in a way, aren't we? We are not isolated. We grow up in the family, and then we find our own family, friends and so on. So knowing and understanding who you are within a group environment, I think, is excellent.
Absolutely. And, when I can solve someone's problem, it's great. When they can see in a group that other people have also kind of adopted those perspectives that haven't served them well, people feel less shameful or guilty or whatever those feelings are that we take on. They kind of think, okay, I'm normal. It's okay. Everyone else, has their own stuff. I'm normal.
Now, I have to ask you this. The term psychic, there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconception around that. Clear that up for us. You are not looking in the crystal ball to predict the future in that sort of movie style that we have.
Well, I do have one. I do have a crystal ball. Look, I think there's a lot of different aspects to being psychic, and you'll see a lot of people labeling themselves differently.
Right.
And ultimately, we're all psychic. We really are. We tune in through our ears, through our gut feelings, through our intuitive kind of senses. Many of your community would also sense things from other people, or you're a bit angry today, or whatever. That's all psychic.
Yes, it's the energy that we sometimes say, oh, that person has a good or a bad energy as well, isn't it?
And that's tuning into our intuitive stuff, our psychic gifts, and we all have them. Now, what happens is when people are out there doing, psychic work or psychic medium or psychic whatever they're calling themselves, it's just that they've tuned into one particular thing or a couple of different things that they have mastered, I guess. And I think for me, ever since I was 17, I just knew that I just knew stuff, and I don't know how I knew it. I thought everyone just knew. And then, when I was writing my first book, because I've got a couple of books on Amazon, when I was writing my first book, it was for the salons businesses, about how they could bring more people into their salon and all the rest of it. And I said, I don't know how to do that, but I'd had successful salons for 28 years, and my coach is like, yes, you do. And I said, I don't know what I do. People come in, I talk to them, I give them answers, and they're happy, and then they come back. So I think I've always just had this skill. And it was only in 2008, I think, that I really understood that it was a psychic skill. I think one of my clients came to me and said, I gave her some answers for something. And she came back a few weeks later and said, oh, you won't believe it, I went to a psychic and she said just what you said. And I'm like, okay, I'm in the wrong business here. I've got the wrong audience. And I think that's when I kind of knew that I'd really had these innate abilities that really were me, and that my purpose really is to help people with that. So, but there's many people with different ways of tuning in. Yeah.
So people, I would imagine that people are attracted to you somehow through that whole, inner feeling, energy, whatever. I think they sort of find you. So, but if we were to turn that around in marketing speak, what is an ideal client for you? Somebody who comes to you that is really perfect to work with you or to come to you. How would you describe that person?
The people who find me are already kind of aware of energy. They're aware of that there's something more outside of themselves. They're at that point where they know that something needs to shift within here. But what a lot of people come to me for in the beginning is to find peace, is to really find some peace and some calm, because anybody who comes to see me just feels better when they leave. And it's that peace and that calm that I think, especially at this time in evolution, people are looking for that. So if you're in a chaotic energy, it's very difficult to take advice from anyone. So to really get people in that calm energy. And I think because I have that online, there are people who come to me purely for that. It's like, oh, I need to feel peaceful. I need to go to Trish. She's always peaceful. But then there are others who come for specific thing. And the other type of client that I have coming in is other intuitives and spiritual kind of based people who are starting their own journey with their own business.
Okay.
And getting themselves out there. And I can really help with that because I do a lot of behind the scenes techie kind of stuff with them as well. So
wow, right. So you've got so you've sort of got like two levels really. You've got that, person from out there feeling just chaotic right now and challenged, I think is a good word as well.
Challenged, yes.
Challenged with what's happening. They come to you for the calm and the peace that you can help them instill. Yes. And you've got the practitioners, if I can call it that, for just from the wellness scenario now, but those people that are practicing what you're doing or starting in that. So that is a great testimony to your experience in that field, isn't it? That's wonderful.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm blessed really to be able to have both of those elements, because there are a lot of people who are all very logical and can't tune into intuition. A lot of people who are very intuitive but can't get their mind around technical stuff. So I have had, over the last decade, I've learnt all of that because I find it fun, actually. So I've learnt all of that, and yeah, and the people that come to me for help in their area with their spiritual business, sometimes it's a fear as well. So I help them with the fear, and by putting some things in place in the physical, in the social media field, in their website, I can help them with their confidence as well.
I think the fear must be the word of 2020, and it's come into 21, hasn't it? This enormous fear around everything that's been happening, whatever sort of form that takes, whatever shape that's taken for people. But I think that was the word for last year, and I'm sure it's still sort of there somewhat this year as well.
Well, there's that inner fear now that comes up because people want to change their lives. They don't want to go back to a job they hate. They don't want to just be on a treadmill every day. They really want to be expressing their purpose and to do what they feel joyful with. But then we have that imposter syndrome come in, like who am I to be doing that, and all the fears of criticism and judgment. So I like to help with that too, because as I said to you before we started, everybody has a contribution in this life. Everybody has something to say and something that helps other people. And I like people to know that. And whether it's something big that changes the world, or whether it's just a personality that you have that smiles at every stranger that you meet, I mean, that heals people.
That is huge in itself. So look, I think that is wonderful that you are available to people in the situation where they really want to change, where they are not sure what's holding them back and happening on a psychic energy, intuitive level, that they come and connect with you. And on that note, we will put some links into the comments here so people have got that availability, and particularly to the program that you've got coming up. I think that's excellent.
Yes. So that starts on the 22nd, and on the 15th of March, and I'll give you the link for that as well, I've got a free 5-day challenge, which will really...
A warm-up, is it?
It is. It's a 5-day perception challenge, and it really will give you an understanding of perhaps why something in your reality keeps happening and how to change it. And so
fantastic. I thank you for your time, Trish, for sharing.
Oh, thank you.
Really lovely. And I hope that some people really can benefit from that.
And thank you. It's been such a pleasure being here, and I really appreciate you having me on your program.
On the program. Thank you so much. And we'll sign off for now. Trish, you can get all the details in the comments later on. Thank you, and bye for now.
Bye.